Saturday at 6. It's time for your weekly music and entertainment fix.
Backstage with Sinéad and Mhórdha.
With all the best music, interviews and live sessions. Live from the Radio Nova studios in the Dublin Docklands.
Good evening and welcome along to Backstage. I'm Sinéad and Mhórdha hanging out with you for the next hour. I am still reveling in the absolute sheer magic and genius that was Girl Band at Vicar Street last night. What a band, what a performance. Okay, in terms of this evening's show, what a show I've got lined up for you today. I'm going to be speaking to Andy Partridge of XTC. I'll also be talking to Fran Healy and Dougie Payne of the Scottish band Travis. And I've got the brilliant new single from New Order.
Backstage on Radio Nova.
Andy Partridge is one of Britain's most original and influential songwriters. He's the founder of the internationally renowned new wave group XTC, with whom he recorded 14 widely acclaimed albums. He's just brought out the book entitled Complicated Game Inside the Songs of XTC. This offers a unique insight into the work of XTC founder Andy Partridge, and it just gives an unprecedentedly revealing and instructive guide as to how 30 songs from the band's extensive catalogue came together. It's developed from a series of interviews conducted over many months with the music journalist and author Todd Bernhardt, and it explores all of his songs in detail. So Andy Partridge is going to be speaking to me about this in a moment, but first I'm going to take this amazing song, one of the songs that initially got me into new wave. This is Making Plans for Nigel from XTC on Radio Nova.
We're Well, I'm taking a break from getting repetitive strain injury painting. I'm painting 50, and I don't know why I agreed to this, but it was my own stupid fault. I agreed to hand paint 50 dust jackets for special hardback edition of the book that's just coming out.
What are you doing to yourself, Andy? I heard you talk about this recently. You're still at it? Oh, no.
Yeah, and it's not a potato print. They're all rather lovely and detailed, and what am I doing?
Oh, man, you poor thing. Your hand must be seizing up at this point, is it?
Yeah, well, I thought, I'll charge a premium. I'll go crazy. I'll say £250 each. Do you know what? By the time I've paid commissions and the tax man, I'm probably working for about £10 an hour. I could go and be a window cleaner and make more than that.
Oh, my God. I could hire you as my assistant for that.
Oh, what an idiot I am.
Fair play to you. Well, listen, congratulations on the book.
Well, I didn't handwrite them. So.
No. But there was a lot involved. No less than 83 interviews, is that right, to make up that book?
Actually, I think it may have been more than that.
No way.
But, Jawbone went and picked the 30 that they liked the sound of. But, it wasn't hard work to do, because Todd and I that's the other fellow that's on the, gets the credit for the book. He and I are friends, and we used to, he would ask me about, how'd you come up with such and such a song or whatever? And I'd tell him, and he said, you know what, I should start recording these things and we'll post them online. So we did for a while. But we ended up with a huge backlog of stuff,
Incredible, because a lot of the time with books and these kind of things and biographies and autobiographies and whatnot, it's very much of the opinion of a music reviewer or a journalist, picking apart the songs. But it's great to get it right from the horse's mouth, I guess.
Well, I love all that personally. I mean, for me, people say, "Oh, that's that magician on the TV last night. He was stunning," and then I'll watch the next time he's on or whatever, and I'm thinking, "Oh, it's okay." But what would really, really impress me is to know how he's done this trick. What's behind the apparent, inverted commas, magic. Because I'm one of those people that loves to know if I like an artist, and whether it's a sculptor or a painter or a musician or whatever, I want to know how they're doing it, how they wrote that song, how they mixed those colors to make that painting, what was their reference for that statue, blah, 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 whatever it was. I want to see behind the curtains. And
you have given us this valuable insight into the Songs of XTC with this book, Complicated Game, inside the Songs of XTC. Speaking of songs, I'm going to play another one from XTC before I quiz you as to the musical process behind these incredible songs. Going to play this one now. From XTC, this is Senses Working Overtime on Radio Nova.
Father for the cannons and the guilty ones can all sleep safe.
Oh, what a great song. XTC on Radio Nova, Senses Working Overtime. And Andy Partridge of XTC has just brought out the book Complicated Game Inside the Songs of XTC, and it is available via Jawbone Press. And Andy does join me now backstage. So before I go on to quiz you about Senses Working Overtime, I want to first ask you about making plans for Niall, which you heard a little bit earlier on.
Well, you're asking the wrong person. I
know Colin wrote it initially, didn't he? But you worked with him on it?
Colin wrote it. I arranged it for him because when he brought it up, it just sounded like a sort of finger in the ear folk song. Because before his wife smashed him over the head with his acoustic guitar, because I was there at the time, I sat in the car, I saw it through the window.
Did she really?
He came up and he had this nylon string guitar when it was still in one piece. And he said, "Look, chaps, I've got this song, and it goes like this." And he strummed it, and I thought, "Oh no, he sounds like Julie Felix or, you know, some kind of real middle of the road folk singer type." Yeah. And I said, "Well, look, let's it's a great song. Let's pull it apart and make it. Let's bring it up into the later end of the 20th century, you know." Yeah. So Terry, the original drummer, and I sat down and worked this kind of inside-out groove, upside-down, inside-out groove for it, where Terry's playing like a normal drum beat, but the pattern he'd play on the snare drum he'd played on the hi-hat, or the bass drum, the pattern he'd normally play on the hi-hat, he changed it over to the tom-tom. The pattern he would play on the tom-tom, he played that on the bass drum, or, you know, he turned it all upside down, and it was a great groove. And that to me is the combination of a good little tune with a fantastic groove. It was pretty irresistible. It
was absolutely, yeah. There's a great urban industrial kind of sound to it, and it's just wonderfully addictive. So it's
that was
amazing.
All the sort of crashing noises. We thought, well, the poor kid's going to be forced to work in British steel, which I think, you know, is very kind of what's the word, apt at the moment, because they're closing down the last steel plant. And we thought, well, there's got to be lots of crashing and hammering noises. So we had a little cheapo Korg synthesizer that is great for making those sort of crashing and hammering sounds. So all these noises, these kind of industrial sounds, were part of the rhythm track in the background, you know.
No way. Amazing. Genius.
When you write a song, you have to... I mean, for me personally, when I write a song, I don't, and this sounds really stupid, but I'm going to tell you, I don't necessarily hear it as music. I'll come up with a few chords and I'll think, whoa, what pictures are those chords giving? Because I think visually, you know. Yeah, I'll strum a chord and I think, oh, that sounds foggy. And then I'm trying to describing to myself what's happening in the fog. Oh, and then before I know it, I've got a lyric. Or these chords sound like earth, or somebody breaking or turning the earth with a spade, or something's pushing up from the earth. And before you know it, a song like Easter Theatre was born. And that just came out of finding a few chords to my head. It sounded like something pushing up from the ground. And when does that happen? Well, it happens at Easter and new life and stuff, you know. So for me, most of the songs come from describing to myself what I'm hearing in the sonic side of things, you know.
God, I could talk to you all day, but I'm just going to ask you one more thing, just quickly. I have so many questions I wanted to ask you in terms of producing and working with Blur and all the people you're listening to.
Well, you look far away. I'm taking a break from painting. If you want to do it, you can. You know,
you're so good. It's just, you know, with radio, it's annoying. You got to cut things down. It's like, I don't want to cut anything down. Can we not just? So I'll probably just put up the whole podcast of the whole thing. But I do want to ask about Senses Working Overtime, which is a wonderful collection of layering of all kinds of different musical treats. And I believe it paid for your kitchen. Is that right?
It did. People say, well, what do you think of when you hear your songs? Well, I don't hear them because I don't, you know, who listens to their own? It's a bit, unless you sting.
Yeah, and the narcissistic.
But, you know, you don't stand looking in the mirror all day. So I wouldn't want to be listening to my own music. I only listen to my own music if I have to refer. Somebody says, oh, what's the lyric to? And I think, God, I've forgotten. So I'll check it out and, oh, yeah, this song isn't bad. Or the only other way I can listen to any music I've recorded is if I get stone drunk. You know, and then I'll say, yeah, I remember making such and such an album. And I'll go in my little recording studio, the shed at the bottom of the garden.
Yeah.
And I'll lay
that
on the
Thomas
floor
Walsh has landed on.
Because I don't want the neighbours thinking, you know, what a wonker he is listening to his own music, you know. And I'll put the headphones on and I'll lay on the floor and I'll think, yeah, this is great. When did we do this? I've forgotten all about this. The next thing I know, I'll have passed out. And I'll wake up like 2 or 3 hours later, and the thing is still on repeat. And I go, oh, I gotta go to bed. I gotta go to bed. So I don't listen to my own music. It's you know, I don't do it. But yeah, the Senses thing was written. You know, Virgin were pressing, come on, you need a single, and I don't really know how to write a single. How do you write a single? You just you write, and then if people think, hey, that's catchy, you know, away you go. But there's no formula for a single, and I think singles that have been, or songs or tracks, whatever you want to call them, that have been bolted together with a formula are inevitably really yawny. You say, oh, that's terrible. You know, it's just such formula rubbish. But I sat and thought, you know, I thought, well, how do you write a single? And the first thing that popped in my head was the old Manfred Mann 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah. I thought, well, that's, you know, everyone likes counting songs, whether you're, you know, whether it's nursery rhyme or whatever. Well, and I love nursery rhymes. I think they've been really influential for me. Don't discount the power of a nursery rhyme, you know. I listened to the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I thought, well, you know, let me play with that. I like that. Counting, that's good. What is that backwards? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, yes. And you start thinking, well, what's it 5 of, you know? And I thought, well, 5 senses. But they're not just ordinary experiencing the senses. You're experiencing the world, and it's phenomenal. It's fantastic. So they're working overtime. So, okay, I've got a title, senses working overtime. I've got the counting. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I thought, well, that's got to be like a chorus. And I worked. I thought, well, I need a verse. And I wasn't looking while I was strumming the guitar, and I put my hands on what I thought was the correct chord, and I put them in the wrong place and made this real of a chord, you know, a real demented of a chord. Try working that one out, you know. But I thought, hey, you know, me being a little bit synesthetic, and whenever I hear music, I sort of get pictures and stuff. And I made this wrong chord because I wasn't looking, because I'm not that good. And I thought, oh, wow, that's a great chord. Wow, that's like medieval, you know. It's like little people plowing along, and you know, when you look in the margins of those old illustrated, illuminated manuscripts and stuff, there's always little peasants having a plow and a mow and scattering seeds and stuff. I thought, well, that's what it reminds me of. And then suddenly that whole process of describing to yourself what you're hearing becomes the lyric. And then I got to use this word. I bastardized a song that I was chucking out called The Wonderment. But it had some nice chords in it, so I thought, hang on, I'll stick my medieval bit, and I'll stick it onto the front of these chords for this song that I don't think is going anywhere, but I really like the chords. And then just accidentally, it brings me up to the, you know, it's a happy accident. Go with it. Accidents are your best friends. Mistakes are your best friends. That's the only way to learn, is to make mistakes. So, you know, mistakenly, it came round to fit perfectly the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bit. So, hey, I'm waffling on like a leaking
amazing.
Zeppelin here. So.
I'm learning so much. I mean, there's mistakes being your best friend, and the world's been like rubber, and just push yourself.
Mistakes are fantastic. People say, "Oh, I made a terrible mistake." Fantastic. Let's hear it. Let's see it. What was it? What did you write? What was this wrong thing you did? What was the wrong thing you said? You know, there'd be no creativity in the world if there weren't for mistakes. Mistakes and errors are your best friend.
Well, Andy Partridge of XTC. It's been such a pleasure chatting to you, and Complicated Game inside the Songs of XTC is going to be an amazing thing to just delve into. You should go back on radio, Andy.
Well, several people have told me that, but, you know, I couldn't sit and do it on my own. If somebody said, here's the mic, go, I'd just dry up, because I can't do monologue. You know, I have to sit with somebody, and I have to sort of, you know, it's like tennis. Who wants to see one person playing tennis on their own?
Well, you can come and join me.
It's got to be two people batting it backwards and forwards. And
okay, well, come over to me and we can do a show together.
Probably on the boat. I don't fly too good these days.
Okay. Well, boat it over and we'll have the bands maybe when you come over, Andy.
And I wouldn't want anyone to see me in my flight socks.
Oh. Who wants to see anyone in flight socks?
Well, I don't know. Flight socks, fluorescent mini latex kilt, armour. What a...
Latex kilt.
You've got to wear the right stuff to fly in.
You do. That is very true. Well, listen, Andy, I'll get you back to your rest your hands, and good luck with painting the rest of the covers for the book.
I think I shall do, was it Christy Moore? But paint the next few with me feet.
Oh, Christy, that's right, yeah. You're terrible, you're terrible.
Thanks.
Andy, you're a brat, but you're brilliant. Thank you so much for joining today. Best of luck with everything.
I hope you've enjoyed it.
I did indeed. Thanks so much, Andy. Bye. What an absolute legend, Andy Partridge of XTC. Yet to come on Backstage, I'm going to be chatting to the Scottish band Travis. Also, Conor McCaffrey of The Star will be stopping by to help you out with your gig picks coming up over the next few days. But first, it's time for this.
Backstage
on Radio Nova.
Music News Update.
Conor Irwin of Radio Nova has all the latest in music news now for you. So, Conor, there seems to be some interesting new releases on the horizon. Starting off with some interesting new releases that are coming out.
Hey, Sinead, yeah, loads of new releases, I guess, to talk about. I guess Record Store Day is coming up soon and all these things are coming out. The White Stripes are set to release their Peel Sessions recordings from 2001. That's on Record Store Day. They obviously recorded it with BBC DJ, the late John Peel, and that was in support of their third album, White Blood Cells. That's coming out for Record Store Day. We also have New Order announcing a brand new edition of Music Complete. It's going to be called Complete Music. It's coming out a little bit later on. It's not going to be for Record Store Day. It's May 13th. But it's kind of reworkings and re-edits of Music Complete, which was a cracking album. And also, the kind of big one, I guess, two big ones. Paul McCartney is set to release a 67-track greatest hits compilation. That's coming out June 10th. And Motorhead's final tour is going to be documented in a new live album and film. That's 2 gigs that they played in Munich in November. 21st and 20th, I think they were. That is going to be coming out very soon on the usual kind of double vinyls and all that sort of stuff. A ton of kind of different editions of it, but loads of new music coming out.
A lot of great releases to add to the collection, Conor. A Rolling Stone member has been sharing his opinion on modern day pop music.
Elsewhere, Keith Richards has criticised pop music, modern pop music that is, the likes of Adele and Rihanna and all that, the fact that they work with a team of songwriters. And he was talking about that and he said, well, they can't rely on themselves, can they? And he said, we're in the midst of a heavy duty showbiz period, even stronger than when we killed it the last time. And he kind of said that X Factor is rubbish and it's for people who just want to be famous. And a great line came out of him then. Well, if it's fame you want, good luck. You'd better learn to live with it.
And finally, tell us the news regarding this lovely tribute that's in store for us at Glastonbury.
Yeah, lastly for now, we can expect something quite special, I think, for the David Bowie tribute at this summer's Glastonbury Festival. Emily Eva's saying that they've spoken with a lot of members of his band who played there in 2000 with Bowie. Loads of ideas. They're not going to do a big all-star tribute and they want to keep it very personal, something that's going to mean a lot to people and is in keeping with him and the history of Glastonbury. So really looking forward to seeing what they come up with.
Touching tribute. Well, Conor Irwin of Radio Nova, thanks so much for bringing us up to date on all the latest in music news.
Cheers, chat to you next week.
And now, Greg Cochran, it's over to you. What new music do you have in store for us on Radio Nova?
Thanks, Sinead. This week we're looking at, Johnny Marr's off doing a thing with the movie composer Hans Zimmer. What else have members of the Smiths been up to? Well, Andy Rourke, the former bass player, has teamed up with Dolores O'Riordan, a new band called Dark, D-A-R-K, including the songwriter, producer and DJ Ole Koretsky. Here's the first new single.
With my head okay, to incredible wealth, to the absence of shame.
The roots of the trio formed when Andy Rourke and Koretsky met and created Jetlag, a remix and production team based in New York. They were experimenting and sharing tracks. Then Dolores O'Riordan bumped into Andy Rourke randomly, and according to the press release, O'Riordan asked what Rourke was working on. They started sharing tracks, and then Dolores started reimagining the songs. Koretsky was already working on a project called Science Agrees, which was added to their developing creations. The trio met in Ontario in Canada to record and then put together and arrange and do all that stuff. Curvy, Dark's first single. Dark will embark on a 5-date tour. Dark will embark, you like it? May 13th, appropriately enough, in Limerick at Dolan's. It'll wrap May 23rd in Milan. New music for this week, Curvy from Dark.
Thanks so much, Greg, for that. Nice little poetry going on. Interesting little collaboration, that, isn't it? Okay, yet to come on Backstage this evening, I'm going to be chatting to the Scottish band Travis. I've got a live acoustic one from the last Shadow Puppets. Next up on Backstage is the brand new single from Mhórdha. This is Radio Nova.
Backstage on Radio Nova.